Hello and welcome to my weekly Roundup. On the Small Business Big Network podcast this week, you can hear a conversation with Mary Flavelle. Mary is a radio broadcaster on Marlow FM and also founder of the Ladies Who Latte Network. In the last week, I've also recorded 3 further episodes that will air in the coming weeks. One with Maja Dethloff, who's a singing bowl therapist. This one is absolutely fascinating. Another with Jayne Anne O'Flynn, who's the founder of the O'Flynn Charitable Foundation, which helps people with mental health issues in Northern Lincolnshire. And one with Melanie Perry from Poppy Perry Media, who's also one of the founders of the Cr38tives Network. On Monday this week, Small Business Britain launched their report How to Grow in a Recession, and this was accompanied by a webinar which covered tips for growing a small business and the sort of support that is out there. As ever, the chat box was very lively. The report can be accessed via the Small Business Britain website, and Michelle Ovens has even recorded an audio version of it. Later on Monday, I had a great chat with Rachael Bryant from Your Video team. We'd met briefly at the Creative Collective online networking and decided that we really needed to have a more in-depth conversation. Rachael works alongside her husband Ben, and they work for similar clients to me, so hopefully we might be able to do some work together in the future. On Tuesday, I attended the Net for Biz network with David O'Brien, which is always a good way to start the day. And on Wednesday, I was back in another Zoom room with David as he hosted this week's Consulting Room Lunch. We talked about business plans and whether people had one or updated their plan regularly. I plan 3 months at a time, which is what some of the others do too. One attendee had tried planning 5 years ahead when she started, but she's abandoned that idea now. On Wednesday afternoon, I went down to the hub at Freeman Street Market in Grimsby for a meeting about arts and culture in the town, particularly public art. We talked about how public art can shape people's experience of an area and about what stops people from getting involved in public art. It was an interesting discussion, and I think everyone agreed that more funding is needed for this kind of thing in the town. Yesterday afternoon, I popped into Bradshaw's Wonderland marketing session. His sessions are aimed at the voiceover industry, and yesterday we were looking at websites and what makes a good website for a voiceover artist. Having demos easily accessible and downloadable, of course, but the sites with photos breaking up the text definitely look better, so it's worth investing in some great pictures. This afternoon, I'm very excited to be pulling on my virtual wellies and tramping off to the business shed on Jodie Newman's business allotment. I signed up for Jodie's virtual advent calendar in the run-up to Christmas, where she was giving away all sorts of prizes, and I won a creative thinking goodie bag from her. This included Lego and Play-Doh to get the creative juices flowing, so I'm interested to see inside the shed and find out what other tools she has in there. Tonight I shall be resuming my role as the Grey Lady of Barton after a break in December. The Barton Ghost Walk starts from Baysgarth House Museum at 7:30 p.m. tonight and costs just £5 per person. Be there if you dare. That's all for this week. Join me again next Friday for another Roundup.